Hospital colleagues, do you want to help your patients even more, get positive feedback from both them and your local GPs? I'll show you how as we tech enhance your primary care and learning. So Team Hospital, a quick and easy way you can help both your patients and your local GPs and be even more effective in your role is to give the patient a Med3 fit note when they're leaving hospital. So if a patient has been in hospital for more than 7 days or anticipated to be off for more than 7 days, then they should be given a Med3 fit note by the clinician treating them at that point, whether that's in hospital, inpatients, outpatients, or even the A&E department. Otherwise, you might end up with situations that look a little bit like this. So Mr. Bloggs, anything else before we send you home? Hey Doc Confused, so quick question. What do I do about work now that you've operated on my leg? Oh, you mean a sick note? Yes, if you contact your GP, they will sort that out for you. Okay. Really? Shouldn't you give me one? I mean, it seems silly for me to speak to my practice when I'm right here. Yeah, that kind of sounds sensible. Let me check. So, Mr. Bloggs, turns out they're called fit notes, not sick notes anymore. Did you know that? Well, we would recommend that you take 6 weeks off work, so we'll give you a note that covers you for 2 weeks, and then you can get the rest of that from your GP. How does that sound? Okay, but why are you only giving it me for 2 weeks if you're telling me I need 6 weeks off to recover? Surely you should just give me the full 6 weeks. Let me check. So where can I find information about Med3 fit notes? Maybe the Gov website? Or I could check out EGP Learning.
In this episode, I'm going to explain what a Med3 fit note is, in what situations you may need one and when you may not, and also how you can go about getting one from either your GP practice team or hospital team for your ease.
So Mr. Bloggs, here's your fit note, and I've covered you for the next 6 weeks. I'd recommend that you have that time off and then have a look at a phased return and an occupational health assessment with your employer to make sure that it makes it safe for you. Thanks, Dr. Confused. So like Dr. Confused, many are unfortunately unaware of this information. Even the government acknowledges this on its website information about fit notes and hospital doctors. Links are down below. Or worse still, are aware of this information but have difficulties in arranging the logistics of giving the patient a Med3 fit note. So let's fix some of those challenges, shall we? And make sure you share this with your colleagues so they're also aware of how to overcome them. So the key points that you need to know are: any doctor working in inpatients, outpatients, or even the A&E departments should give an appropriate fit note to cover a period of inability to work or any adjustments to their working ways, whether that patient is in work or not. Also, since July 2020, this has expanded to include additional roles including nurses, pharmacists, physiotherapists, and paramedics, as long as they have had the national training, which you can access the links to that down below. Additionally, if you're a hospital doctor not sure of what to do with Med3 notes, check it out. It's not too long. However, some key points to know is that the length of the note should be for the anticipated length of time that person will be away from their work, not just 2 weeks. Additionally, if somebody is able to work but needs some support or adjustments, then these can be included by making it a maybe fit note by ticking the relevant box and including some of the adjustments, such as altered hours, amended duties, adaptations, or a phased return. And for longer periods off, this may also include directions for occupational health assessments. There is also no such thing as a return to work note. Important to know that bit. Ideally, fit notes should be given in electronic format, but paper copies may still be used. Do you know where these are stored in your ward or in your A&E department? If not, find out. I'm sure there's somebody that knows. If there genuinely are none, then raise this with your hospital admin team because it is their contractual responsibility to make sure these are available, and these can be ordered from the DWP website. Again, links to those down below in the description. And this will ensure that you're doing the best for your patients and completing all of your responsibilities. Also, do not forget to communicate that you've actually given a fit note to your patient in your notes to the GP practices, including the dates that you've actually given the note for and any adjustments as you've recommended. Some examples of how you may give a fit note to a patient in the hospital environment coming up right now. So, a patient seen in the accident emergency department who needs more than 7 days off work because of whatever their health issue may be should be given a note by the clinician treating them in the A&E department and not directed back to their GP practice to get one issued. Or a patient seen in fracture clinic and due to that injury are unable to work for whatever reason should be given a note to cover the entire time they would need to recover from that injury or to their next clinic appointment if that's appropriate, and not directed back to their GP practice for it to be issued. Another example, patients that are discharged from either an inpatient or a day case unit for either planned, such as a surgery, or for urgent care should be given a Med 10 note where appropriate, or a Med 3 fit note for the time off they would need to recover from that episode of care, including any appropriate adjustments and stuff, and not directed back to their GP practice for it to be issued. Finally, patients with chronic health issues that are stopping them from working and have been recommended to change the way they work or even attending work at all by their clinician should be issued an appropriate fit note to cover the length of time that may cover. This can especially be important in patients recovering from COVID, cancer patients, or those having series of investigations that may impact their ability to work, and not directed back to their GP practice to have it issued. Remember, fit notes can be given in person or by remote consultations such as telephone or video consultations, and should ideally be sent electronically or can be given in a physical version or posted if they're not available to be given at that time. And the provision of this does remain the responsibility of the clinicians and the hospital trust providing that episode of care. Now, you may still have some questions about Med 3 fit notes and when they should and should not be used. Just before I get to that information, if you have found this episode useful, do put some comments down below to let me know which parts were helpful, and also definitely like and share it with your colleagues so that they're aware of it as well. And if you do want more information about fit notes, check out this episode which explains them in more detail and the resources you will need to help your patients as well.